separatist and activism those are genuine things that people we've all lived with over the years, and we know how they go about it. Not the ones we see now, the criminals we see now. And I'm glad that even the Southeast Caucus of the National Assembly yesterday issued a communique and said exactly the same thing I said. Exactly the same thing I said on the floor, where they separated those people from the real agitators. So I will put that to rest, and I will encourage our journalists to please continue or try to, as best as possible, report exactly what transpires on the floor of this House. I remember that one of our colleagues, I'm trying to remember who it was misquoted towards the end of the session yesterday, and he had to come up on the floor to correct the statement credited to him, which was not what he said. So we'll put that to rest. Thank you, gentlemen. Are we ready? Honourable members, I have examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Wednesday, 15th September 2021. Any petitions? We'll go like this.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. My name is Kwamoti Bitrus Lowry, representing Numan Jamsa, Lamude Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from Dr. Kale Songwadi, a director with Lake Chad Research Institute. He is my constituent. Mr. Speaker, sir, he was wrongfully suspended for 2 years. And he is craving the indulgence of this honorable House to look into his issue and ensure justice is done to him. And in that respect, Mr. Speaker, I seek your leave to lay the petition.
Honorable Lowry, you may lay your petition. I believe you might even have, if not today, next week, a point of privilege. You might want to explain certain things. I think you were misquoted too. Back to the issue of misquoting, I'm glad to announce that we now have a live feed for the press corps in their room over there. So the excuse of they got the quote or some quote from another journalist should not arise. They're being fed live right now, and everything in chambers and all the statements recorded or are being fed live in their press room over there. So we don't envisage or think there should be any excuse that they got some quote or the other from somebody else. Any other petition? All right, Ayoni, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir, and my colleague, I'm Honorable Lawrence Babatunde Ayeni. I represent the group people of Ilesha West, Ilesha East, Atakumosa West, Atakumosa East, Asun State. Sir, I have the petition and appeal here. The person of Grace Oni, attached to just police command, but still a member of my council. In respect of personal appeal to invalidate the purported refreshment of him and to restore the emolument. This woman was working until last year. But later, now got to know that he's available on the treatment. And he has not been paying since. She has made all the efforts in order to get his emolument. And when it fell to me, I've been a member of my constituent, so I decided to do it. I just plead to the Honorable House to let me lay the petition so that we will do it.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Any other petition on this row? Deputy Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Uhionzije Patterson, MNI. I represent the great people of Akoko Federal Constituency, and I am from Edo State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition from two of my constituents, Engineer and Mrs. Kasim Lawani, a petition for the investigation and the prosecution of the doleful murder of Ms. Precious Enweme Lawani by unknown persons in the premises of Bowen University. Mr. Speaker, this young lady was brutally murdered in the premises of the university where she was schooling. And now, as we speak, the school authority or the security agencies are yet to come up with, facts about what led to her death and who are the people behind it. And the parents have been so worried, and hence they have come to appeal to this August Assembly to kindly investigate this case with a view to bringing justice. I seek permission of the House and your leave to present the petition, Mr. Speaker, as so please.
Thank you, Leader. You may lay your petition. Is that all? All petitions refer to the Committee on Public Petitions. Is Honorable Sekiada here? Is not. Honorable Gideon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Representative Gideon Titila Goroki are my names. I represent the good, hard-working people of Buyuk and Shalom Federal Constituency from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, mine is a matter of urgent public importance in which I would like us to suspend.
Yeah, what is the matter?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, last year I was on this floor of the House in which I brought a matter of urgent public importance of attacks in Dumna district. Mr. Speaker, now the same people have taken another dimension of killing and destroying people's farms. Recently, over 70 farms were destroyed. The crops cut down totally, in which in Northeast, the rainy season is winding up, and there is nothing they will plant on that farmlands to yield before the rain ends. Mr. Speaker, not quite long ago, the same people killed a very young man, son to Mr. Albert, in which these people, their activities is so disturbing, and I would like to bring it to the floor of this House. Mr. Speaker, I would like this House, that's my prayer, one of my prayers, these hollow chambers.
No, that's okay. We'll get to that. So the matter is on the killings on farmlands in Adamawa. Any seconder to that?
Okay.
Honorable Ifeanyi.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Honorably fine through the MOM, I speak for the people of Ihiala Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this all-important, urgent motion, and I so second.
Yeah, those who believe this is a matter of urgent public importance to be taken now, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Please move your motion, Honorable Gideon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues. Once again, Honorable Gideon Fitila Goroki, representing WIB, Shalom Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, as earlier stated, last year, in the floor of these chambers, I gave out a public outcry on killings in Dumna district of my own constituency. Mr. Speaker, these same people, they have taken another dimension. Apart from killing, now they are destroying farmlands, crops that are about yielding. They are destroying them. And not quite a week ago, they killed a young man, son to Mr. Albert, in which the mother, on hearing the only son she had, she collapsed and died. It's only through the grace of God that Mr. Albert is living. Mr. Speaker, my cry to this house, rather my prayer to this house is, my cry to this house, Mr. Speaker, is for these hollow chambers to mandate the Nigerian police to put constant patrol on Savannah, Lafia Lamurde, Aziz, in order for this ugly situation to be stopped. And next to that, Mr. Speaker, I want, as a matter of urgent, these humanitarian agencies like NEMA, Northeast Development, and other agencies to save the people of Dumna. Let them give us what we are going to eat this year and next year by the grace. So, Mr. Speaker, and lastly, I would like these hollow chambers, we as members.
Honorable, move your motion. You are not debating. Just move your motion. You are not debating the motion.
Okay. Thank you.
Honorable, I think we've elaborated on the motion. Just go to your prayers and then we'll put the question.
Thank you. The last prayer, Mr. Speaker. My last prayer. Let the agencies, the humanitarian agencies, come to our aid, like the Northeast Development, NEMA, and other agencies. Let them come to our aid and help us so that the people of Dumna district will not remain hungry. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Any seconder? Bondi.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker. My name is Julius Babozo Pondi. I represent the very kind people of Butufuda constituency, Mr. Speaker, in Zonkeme and from Delta State. I write to second the motion, ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
All right, so in moving his motion, Honorable has already debated it, so I'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. And those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. We'll go straight to the business of the day, which is presentation of bills. Honorable members, the business of the day is presentation of 10 bills. I now invite the clerk to read their short title. I want to believe on chairman business. I believe the issue yesterday of the University of Agriculture has been resolved between the deputy leader and Osai. That's what they just informed me now. So maybe we can add that on to today's presentation. Are we on the same page?
I'm not aware they have dissolved, but in that case, we have to bring up a supplementary order paper.
I can't hear you.
He did not. I'm not aware that they have resolved the issue amicably. He's just telling me now, after your announcement.
Yeah.
In that case, we have to produce a supplementary order paper to accommodate.
Okay,
this
so
issue.
okay, good. So the matter has been resolved. We'll produce a supplementary order paper. So we'll just go on with what we have now until that. So liaise with the chairman business and rules. So we read the 10 bills that we have.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Explosives Act Repeal and Enactment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal Capital Territory Customary Courts Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Federal Psychiatric Hospital Budo-Egba Kwara State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Institute of Information and Communication Technology Ogoja Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. University of Maritime Studies Oron Akwa Ibom State Establishment Bill 2021, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 Alteration Bill 2021, first reading. Pension Reform Act Amendment Bill 2021, first reading. Nigerian Institute of Journalism Lagos Bill 2021, first reading. Public Recreation Grant Bill 2021, first reading.
Thank you. Is Honorable Isiaka here? I don't see me. Honorable Isiaka. So I think we might need to step that one down. The first order of the day was a bill. Is here? Okay, we're about to step your bill down. The first order of the day is commencement of debate on the general provisions of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of the National Industrial Technology Park Development Agency and for related matters standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim A. Isiaka. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 15 December 2020, and I invite Honorable Isiaka to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Distinguished honorable members. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka is my name. I represent the very good people of Ifo, a Winkoro Federal Constituency. I'm from Ogun State, Mr. Speaker. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to put before the very House, after the first reading of this all-important bill, pushing for the second reading of the House and adoption. And it's a bill for the establishment of National Industrial Park in the country. I have shared within the members the purpose for the bill, and I hereby move, Mr. Speaker, that you allow me to defend what I have on the bill. I so move, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Idem.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Urowonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the bill that was moved by my colleague, Rep. Isiaka. I so second.
Okay, Honorable Isiaka, you want me to put the question? Or do you want to shed light, or you want me to put the question? Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. It's better to play safe, Honorable Isiaka, before you go and misfire. Clerk, please read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of National Industrial Technology Park Development Agency and for related matters. Second reading.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Science and Technology. Second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act for the establishment of the National Anti-Kidnapping, Terrorism, and Violent Crimes Agency and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Fatou Mohammed. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 21st July 2020, and I invite Honorable Fatou to move that the bill be now read a second time. So Honorable Fatou here.
Mr. Speaker, it seems Honorable Fatou is not on the floor. I move that the second reading of the bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Bill step down. The third order of the day is a motion on the appointments of the chairman and secretary of the Federal Character Commission. Standing in the name of Honorable Oyime Idem. Honorable Idem is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, my name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Orogonam Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to move the motion on appointment of the chairman and the secretary of the Federal Character Commission. The House aware that in compliance with the resolution of this House, dated February 25th, 2020, the President on April 28, 2020 appointed the chairman and commissioners of the Federal Character Commission. Also aware that the current secretary of the commission was appointed as a substantive secretary to the commission in March 2017, whose tenure was expected to end on April 7, 2021, but was reappointed by the President on 7th April 2021 for a second term. Cognizant that the current chairman of the commission and the reappointed secretary are from the same zone. Also cognizant that the chief commissioner of the Public Complaints Commission and secretary of the commission are from the same part of the country. Notes that the Federal Character Commission is one of the agencies of the federal government with the responsibility to promote, monitor, and enforce compliance with the principles of proportional sharing of all bureaucratic, economic, and political positions at all levels of government. Further aware that the principle of federal character as contained in the Act governing the Commission to the effect that leadership positions must be equally distributed between zones. The House resolved to urge the federal government to comply with the principle of federal character. 2, mandate the Committee on Federal Character to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Seconder? Honorable Shoba.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, Olumide Babatunde Oshoba representing Abeokuta North, Obafemode, and Odeda Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Idem. I so second.
I think the issue is very straightforward. Is there any amendment? Any amendment? The issue yesterday was that there were some other agencies. Yeah.
I think to be on the safer side, we should say and other agencies.
So you want to make the amendment?
Yes,
Yeah.
and other agencies.
Any seconder? Honorable Usiaka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Ibrahim Ayokunle Isiaka is my name. I represent the good people of Ifo, a Wekoro Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendment as ably moved by the minority leader of the House. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Aye. The ayes have it. Amendment?
I remain Uzoma Nkime Bonta. Mr. Speaker, I want to amend the prayer 2, which asks for mandate the Committee on Federal Character to ensure compliance. I pray the Speaker to add a time frame so it doesn't be for eternity. This motion is so necessary, it goes to the soul of the existence of Nigeria, of the federal character. Therefore, there should be a time frame. We also want to protect the Constitution, which is that within 4 weeks, they should report back to the House of the compliance taking. So it doesn't look like any other things. We know whether to start again. My amendment is that the committee should report back to the House of the whole within 4 weeks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chidoka, you want to second that?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Obina Chidoka, member representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. I rise this afternoon to second the amendment as moved by my honorable colleague, Abonta. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. Leader of the House, please take your seat. I have a very important announcement for you. I have a very important announcement for you, Leader of the House. This just came, so I have to pause at this point before we continue because this letter just came to my attention. It's from Rep. Chisholm Promise DK. Notice of defection from People's Democratic Party to All Progressive Congress. I write to notify you and the entire House of Representatives of my decision to defect from PDP to APC. Sir, I make this notification in fulfillment of the provisions of Section 68(1)(g) of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and other laws, precedents, and facts enabling me in that behalf, owing to division and constant crisis in People's Democratic Party. Secondly, I am moved and persuaded by APC leadership coordination in Nigeria as exemplified by the Right Honorable Speaker. Your leadership has been accommodating across parties in the House. I and my constituents are therefore convinced that APC is the right political party for us. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. for your exemplary leadership and be assured of my continued cooperation and loyalty to your leadership in the House and ABC General. Signed, Rep. Chisholm, Promise Dike. Where is, there he is over there. Can you come and meet your new leader? Allow him to come and meet his new leader. I didn't hear what you just said to me now. You can borrow my microphone for a minute.
I said I'm finally home.
Thank you. Obina, everything okay? You want to come home too? You want to come home too? You have a point of order? What is it?
You might say interloper or not interloper. The man is from my, is a member of my party. And when during the course of the speech of Mr. Speaker, the issues being read on issues of his defection, Mr. Speaker specifically mentioned section 69, 1G. And
you two, like the press, you are misquoting me. No, I didn't mention 69, I said 68, 1G. That's
yeah, 68, 1G. Thank you. Mr. Speaker mentioned 68, 1G. And looking at the ground norms, which is the operational compass upon which even the foundation of the House of Representatives operates, it means that the honorable member in question has not fulfilled even the other aspect of the same section. Even the same aspect of the same section. And Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, I will read. With your kind permission, I will read. That's section 68, subsection 2. Subsection 2. It said the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as the cause may be, shall give effect to submission 1 of this section. So, however, that the President of the Senate or the Speaker of the House of Representatives or a member shall first present evidence. To present evidence satisfactory to the House, entire House, that each of you must have one copy of those evidence. Of those evidence. We don't. Do you have? You don't have. Evidence. No, not idea. A provision of this submission has become applicable in respect of that member. Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, and subsection 3. A member of the Senate or the House of Representatives shall be deemed to be. That is the section I've equally read, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I'm coming, sir. You don't push me to a section I don't want. Yes, you don't push me to a section I don't want. Mr. Speaker, subsection 2. Any other member can apply that. Subsection 2, which has its own foundation on 1. The question is that has the member fulfilled that particular section of the Constitution by presenting very, very satisfactory evidence, cogent enough, that the PDP has a division?
All right, thank you,
What I know,
Honorable.
with what I know today, as a loyal, honorable member to the chair and to the presiding officer.
When you talk about evidence in law, you can take your seat now. When you talk about evidence, there's also something called judicial notice. And judicial notice is the same thing as legislative notice. What judicial notice means is that you actually don't need evidence because it speaks for itself. The body has taken notice of the fact that there's a division. Number two, when there's a dispute, now the question of division which you're talking about is a question of fact. Now when there's a dispute of fact, by your constitution which you read, who is empowered to make decisions on a dispute of fact? The courts, right? Okay, good. So on those two grounds, one, that we have taken judicial and legislative notice of the fact that there's a division in PDP based on court decisions. Two, if you are dissatisfied, the proper forum will be to go to court for an interpretation of what you just quoted. So on that, you are ruled out of order. All right. So we move on. Clerk, please, you have a responsibility to fix the register of party membership in the House so that we know the correct, because it doesn't look like we have the same numbers we started off with 2 years ago.
Mr. Speaker.
But my counterparts know that I'm just having fun. They know I'm just having fun. Don't worry.
Mr. Speaker.
Abonta, don't worry. We're just having fun.
Mr. Speaker, sir. Sorry, sir. Mr. Speaker.
Of course, Aegis.
Mr. Speaker, in keeping pace to the legislative notice, like you rightly said, I want to put on notice that Thursday next week there will be 2 more defecting to this great
No. We can't continue like this. No.
Legislative notice.
No.
Legislative notice.
We cannot continue. We cannot have a one-party state. We can't continue like this. Okay. Honorable Elumelu Minority Leader, you are awfully quiet. Is everything okay? You want to say something? All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anoche Oshimiri Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, it's very funny how the APC-led government is priding themselves that they intimidate people to join their party while Nigerians cannot even sleep. There is insecurity in the nation. Today, Zamfara is locked up. Even Katsina is totally locked up.
Do you want to bring a motion on security? Do you want to bring a motion on security? The issue is the crossing of one of your members to APC.
Recently just installed, has been kidnapped. Too bad that an emir who just came just this week for a visa, and went home to just get documents that will enable him to go for his medical checkup, has been kidnapped. This clearly shows that APC-led government is leading the nation very bad.
Very good.
When the House leader is busy priding himself that people are leaving, are coming to APC. House leader, I have the floor. When you were speaking, I allowed you to speak. I have the floor until APC-led government are able to provide security of life and property. we can't have a safe Nigeria as we speak. You know, I don't even use mobile man. House leader, you use mobile security. You use mobile security. Why? Because there is this security which the APC-led government has brought to our nation. Unemployment, infrastructural decay, to worsen it, the debt that has been cancelled.
Order, point of order.
Honorable Melu, I've given you a lot of leeway, but I want you to do me a favor. Please read your rules, page 53. Turn to page 53 of your House rules.
The House should be more quiet, please.
Go to page 53 of your House rules, please. Page 53. Page 53. We've heard you for a long time. Page 53. I agree. Go to page 53, please. You don't have your House rules, and you are the minority leader. What did you call? So you come unequipped. Can somebody please read Order 9, Rule 5 on page 53? Order 9, Rule 5, please. Sub-Rule 1. Yes, please read it for us.
Is that I should read? I'm not.
Honorable Ben.
Am I protected to read?
Please read. Go ahead.
Thank you for the protection of the Speaker. I feel highly protected. Order 9 Rule 5 says, and I quote, it's not page 23, I think it's page 24.
53.
Okay.
53, page 53.
Page 53.
Order 9, Rule 5.1.
Yes. It says, debate upon any motion, bill, or amendment shall be relevant to such motion, bill, or amendment, except in the case of a substantive motion or the adjournment of the House.
Honorable Elumelu, be guided. You are ruled out of order. Minority leader, the minority leader. Okay, so we move on. The fourth order of the day is a motion on need to ensure compliance with the community development agreements by mining companies exploring coal in Awo, Luku, Okobo, Onupi in Ankpa Federal Constituency. Standing in the name of Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Ali Halims, Honorable Ali is invited to move his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And honorable colleagues, I rise to move the motion on the need to ensure compliance with the community development agreement by mining companies exploring coals and other minerals in Ankpa Federal Constituency. The House knows that exploration and mining of coal is being carried out by companies such as Dangote and Etazuma, operating in 828 different locations, including Awo, Oloku, Okobo, and Onupi communities in Ankpa Federal Constituency of Kogi State. Aware of the attendant health hazards and implications of coal mining to host communities like air pollution, water pollution, and social dislocation arising from the activities of the mining companies. Also aware of the provisions of Section 116 of the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007, which stipulates that community development agreements must be signed by the mining companies granted operational licenses. Worried that mining companies operating in Akwa Federal constituency have not lived up to such agreements, thereby depriving such host communities of maximum benefits of exploration and mining of mineral deposits in their beloved communities. Also worried that such deprivations are potential dangers capable of causing crisis between host communities and companies operating in the area. Desirous of a legislative intervention to address the seeming anomalies and injustices to people of such communities, resolves to the House urge the Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to ensure that the mining companies live up to environmental obligations and standards enshrined in Section 116 of the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007. 2, mandate the Committee on Solid Minerals to ensure that companies involved in mining activities comply with the community development agreements. 3, also mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so moved, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
I will now say Ali.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Nasir Ali Ahmed. I represent Nasara Federal Constituency and I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Alim. I so second.
Thank you. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Fifth order of the day is a motion. This fifth order of the day is a motion on need to ascertain the position of Nigeria's submission to the United Nations Commission on the limits of continental shelf, standing in the name of Honorable Lego Idagwo. Honorable Idagwo is invited to move the motion. Is Honorable Lego here? Chairman, business, can you step down?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Lego is not on the floor. I move that the motion be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
A motion step down. Sixth order of the day is a motion on need to rehabilitate the failed portion of Ubogui Bridge along the Lagos-Ore-Benin Expressway, OVA Federal Constituency of Edo State, standing in the name of Honorable Dennis Idahosa. Honorable Idahosa is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Dennis Idahosa. I represent Ovia Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Edo State. I rise to move a motion on a need to rehabilitate the failed portion of Ubogui Bridge along Lagos-Ore-Benin Expressway in Ovia Federal Constituency, Edo State. The House note that the Lagos-Ore-Benin Highway is one of the busiest roads in the country and also a gateway to other parts of the country for private and commercial vehicular movements. The House also notes that unending gridlock on the road which span into kilometers arising from the caved-in section of Ugbogwe Bridge in Ovia Federal Constituency along Lagos-Orebini Expressway with imminent fear of total collapse of the bridge if urgent steps are not taken. The House is aware that the caved-in portion and the vibration from the bridge are visible as motorists struggle through the narrow section of the road. The House also aware that the road serves as a route for transportation of goods to and fro from various ports in southern parts of the country, and the current state of insecurity and challenges of kidnapping being experienced by travelers plying the road call for rehabilitation of failed portion of the bridge. The House resolved and urged the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to commence the rehabilitation of the road of the caved-in section of the Ugbogwe Bridge to ease the hardship and danger being faced by commuters plying the road. The House also resolved that the police force to provide security along the stretch of the road to ensure safety of road users. The House also resolved and mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Yemi Ali, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ali Adeyemi Taufik is my name. I speak for people of Mushin, one Federal Constituency in Lagos. I write to second the motion ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Idausa from Edo State. Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is an infrastructure motion moved by Honorable Idausa, seconded by Honorable Yemi Ali. So I'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Seventh order of the day is a motion calling on the federal government to curtail the spread of cholera in Jigawa State. Standing in the name of Honorable Abubakar Maki Yeleman, Honorable Yeleman is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, my honorable colleagues. I am Abubakar Maki Yeleman. I represent Malamaduri Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Jigawa State. I stand this afternoon before you to move a motion on the federal government to curtail the spread of cholera in Jigawa State. The House note that the mandate the Federal Ministry of Health, among others, are to manage outbreak of diseases in Nigeria, formulate policies on all activities relating to diseases management, and coordinate the plans and programs for efficient and effective response to disaster at all levels of government, while making concrete effort to cater for the health need to Nigerians. The House also notes that within 1 month of the cholera outbreak, the state has recorded over 2,000 cases of the disease and over 30 deaths, those causing financial burden on the state government, as all its resources have been channeled to address the disease. Worried that Malamadori Kaugama Federal Constituency is surrounded by water which aided the spread of cholera, a waterborne disease, those calling for intervention of the Federal Ministry of Health, the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, and other relevant health-related authorities. Concerned that the cholera outbreak is not easing in the Federal Constituency despite the effort by the state government, as the statistics have risen to over 10,000 cases in the last 4 months, with over 295 deaths recorded, especially in Jigawa State.
Chairman, business.
Resolved to the House to mandate the Committee on Health Care Services to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Health and other health-related agencies, take immediate steps to protect the lives of the people of Malamadori Kaugama Federal Constituency in Jigawa State from further days as a result of the outbreak. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I so move. Thank you.
Uzana.
Speaker, I'm Honorable Usman Zana, representing Kagama Gumeri Gube Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Abubakar Maki Yelema on the need to curtail the spread of cholera in Jigawa and Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Zana. Somebody had an amendment? Several amendments. Let's start from there. Shamsuddin, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Shamsuddin Bello Dambazo. I represent Aka Ismaila Federal Constituency in Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I would like to suggest that we expand the view of this motion because the epidemic is around all states. I moved a motion before we went on recess about this same incident, and it's going on in Jigawa, it's going on in Zamfara, it's going on in Kebbi, the state, Niger State, and the state of the Chairman Health Services. So I think maybe we need to bring the CDC into it as well, sir. Thank you very much.
So what's your amendment?
My amendment is to change the prayer to include the CDC, Center for Disease Control, NCDC, Center for the CDC, Center for Disease Control.
No, but that doesn't cure the problem. What you're saying is that there are other states that are affected.
Yes, there are other states that are affected.
So we shouldn't restrict this to Jigawa?
Yes.
So really your amendment should be to include
all the states to curb the spread, sir.
Okay. Any seconder to that amendment? Huh? Where is he seated? Honorable Munir. Yes. Where are you? You have to hit your mic.
My name's Engineer Ahmed Mohammed Munir from Lere Federal Constituency. If I may, sir, just include an amendment.
Volume.
If I may, sir, to include an amendment in addition to what has already been presented. Over here, they always say prevention is better than cure.
No, you have to second.
I second.
Okay. So, those in favor of that amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it.
Further amendment, sir.
You have another amendment?
Yes,
okay.
So, sir, as Speaker, with your permission, as you may realize here, what you have is the cure, but the prevention has not been included. So it's better to have it encompass. For example, here it is to treat the cholera, but we also have to have the prevention, which is adequate water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. So for the Federal Ministry for Water Resources have programs, World Bank programs, such as the P-Wash and the So-Wash, which should be added to this so that the prevention should also be included. So if I may, sir, thank you.
Okay, so, well, Honorable Elumelu, you want to second that? You want to second his amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable to the Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Aniocho Milfera constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the amendment moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Now, I hope there are no amendments to bring in other states, because that's already been done. That's already been done. Go ahead, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My highly respected colleagues. My name, Honorable Mohammed Gudaji Kazaure, member representing Kazaure, Roni, Wiwa, and Enkwaji, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment to this motion is the resolve. Mandate the Committee on Health Care Service to liaise with the Federal Ministry of Health and others health-related agencies. Take immediate steps to protect the lives of the people of Malam Madoli, Kaugama Federal Constituency in Jigawa State. My amendment is to protect the lives of the 27 local government of Jigawa State. That is my amendment, Mr. Speaker.
So now, I believe that the first amendment by Shamsuddin, anywhere you have Jigawa, we add and other parts of affected other parts of the country. So that will take care of that amendment too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good amendment, but that has already been taken care of by.
Yes, because purposely the cholera is in Jigawa.
Huh?
It's serious in Jigawa State, sir. What is?
What is it? So the motion is not just about Jigawa anymore. It's about Jigawa and
It's
other
a national
states.
now.
Yeah.
I support it, sir.
Good.
I support it.
Thank you. Honorable Mansour. Okay, Honorable Mansour.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable colleagues. Mansour Manu Soro is my name. I represent the good people of Darazul Ganja, Federal Constituency. I'm from Bauchi State. Mr. Speaker, the challenge with cholera outbreak, the containment has to do more with the supply of cholera containment commodities. So I want to proffer an amendment to the effect that the House do call on the Nigerian Center for Disease Control to complement the effort of the affected state governments through the supply of cholera containment commodities. This will be very, very helpful in the fight against cholera. I so amend.
You move out of the motion. Can you second?
I remain Abubakar Maki Eleman. I'm from Jigawa State. I represent Madam Kaugama Federal Constituency. Sir, I heavily seconded the amendment that raised by Honorable Mansour Soro. I so second, sir. Thank you.
Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Is the chairman legislative compliance here? Chairman legislative compliance. So how do you, leader, please, you need to talk to legislative compliance. How do you comply with motions if you are not on the floor? Please, and these motions are also important. They're so important. We need chairman of legislative compliance committee to be very, very proactive. Please. All right, so those in favor of the motion as moved, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. 8th order of the day is a motion on alleged invasion and attacks by suspected headsmen on Obianuku communities in Delta State, standing in the name of Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. Honorable Osai is invited to move the motion.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent local Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, an infractions and attack by suspected herdsmen of Obiaruku community in Delta State. It has note, Mr. Speaker, that since the first week of July 2021, suspected herdsmen have been invading and attacking and taking over communities, farmland, and other landed properties in Obiaruku, Umwebu, Eziokpo, Obinomba, Owabe, Ebede, and Umutu community in local Okwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. Also note, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that the herdsmen barricaded the major entrance leading to the community farmlands, thereby depriving members of the community from accessing their farms, which is their main source of livelihood. Worried, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, now women who manage to enter the farmlands are being raped on a daily basis by herdsmen who continue to destroy economic trees, farm produce, and other stable crops such as yams and other items in the communities. Also worried, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that the indiscriminate and sporadic shooting in the communities by the suspected herdsmen have resulted in the death of hundreds of people, and some of the corpses are presently in mortuary, while others have been buried. Concerned, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that at the moment, people of the affected communities can no longer go to farm as usual and have to pay vigilante groups to escort them to farms on specific announced dates. Also concerned, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, that as a result of the attack, there has been a rise in price of foodstuff, which is causing untold hardships on the people. Cognizance, Mr. Speaker, that Section 44, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1919 as amended, provides that no movable properties or any interest in an immovable property shall be taken in possessions of compulsorily, or no right over or interest in any such property shall be acquired compulsorily in any parts of Nigeria, except in the manner and for the purpose prescribed by law. Also, cognizant, Mr. Speaker, as Section 14, subsection 2, B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 provides that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Resolved, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, to urge the federal government to mobilize security personnel to dislodge the invading suspected herdsmen in Obiaruku community and other communities, and intensify efforts at ensuring that peace is restored in the communities. Also, Mr. Speaker, urge the National Emergency NEMA to provide relief materials to the victims of Obiaruku, Umwebu, Eziokpo, Binomba, Owabi, Ebede, and Umutu community in Delta State besieged. Mandate the Committee on National Security and Intelligence to visit Obiaruku community with a view to investigating and ascertaining the security situation and the extent of damage on the communities, and report back to the House within 2 weeks for further legislative action. I so move.
Honorable Shehu Koko, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I rise to second the motion heavily moved by my colleague. I just second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
What do you move by?
A motion by Honorable Nicholas Osai, sir.
Okay, I can't even remember. What was the motion?
It's about headsmen, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Huh?
It's about headsmen, sir.
Headsmen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was his prayer? Honorable Hafiz, or maybe Honorable Kabiru wants to help.
Sir, his prayer is he asked the federal government to mobilize security personnel to dislodge the embedded suspected herdsmen in Obiaruku community and intensify effort to ensuring that peace is restored in the community.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. So you are supporting the motion? Yeah? Okay. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The ninth order of the day is a motion calling on the federal government to connect Kanama in Unisari local government area of Yobe State to the national grid, standing in the name of Honorable Lawan Shetima Ali. Honorable Ali is invited to move the motion. Honorable Shetima, you are telling me that there's been no electricity there for 30 years. 30 years. Unbelievable. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm from Yobe State, sir. I rise to move a motion calling on the federal government to connect Kanama town, the headquarters of Unisari local government area of Yobe State, to the national grid. The House notes that Kanama, with an estimated population of 271,303, is the headquarters of Unusari local government area of Yobe State, which was created as far back as 1989, which is 30 years or over 30 years now, sir, and shares borders with Niger Republic. Concerned that Kanama is the only local government headquarters among the 17 local government headquarters in Yobe State that is not connected to the national grid. Worried that the lack of power supply to Kanama has grounded economic activities in the area, and even healthcare facilities have become non-functional, thus exposing the people to the risk of not having access to healthcare services and basic facilities that require electricity supply. Resolves that to urge the Federal Ministry of Power to ensure that Kanama in Usari local government area of Yobe State is linked to the national grid, and also prevail on the Niger Delta Power Holding Company to install 7.5 kVA substation there being a border community, sir. Mandate the Committee on Power to ensure compliance or implementation, sir. I so moved.
Your mic.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, my name is Honorable Barrister Abubakar Rema Idris. I rise to second the motion moved by Honorable Lawan Shatima.
Motion moved by Honorable Shatima, so Honorable Idris. Please, those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Just out of curiosity, Honorable Shatima, how have these people been living in 30 years, for 30 years without any?
Electrification, electricity networks, sir, but no national grid at all. Or they either use generators. The most unfortunate part of it is that they are bordering the Niger Republic. They even have interrelations of marriages and even marketing. But our own local government headquarters for the past 30 years have not been enjoying these facilities. But thank God to the Yobe State government, they have been, connected with a road network there. That's been the best thing being done, sir. Yes, sir.
Is Chairman Power here, Honorable Dow?
Mr. Speaker, I think for further information, same Unisari local government and Kanama community, for further information, this is 99.9 APC people.
Very, very important information. So please, Honorable Dow, Chairman Power, very important. Please, this motion is very, very important. We put an asterisk besides it. Thank you. The 10th order of the day is consideration of report for an act to provide for establishment of specialized national dermatology hospital, Gakida Management Board for the hospital to provide dermatological treatment, research and training, and for related matters. Honorable members will recall that the bill was committed to the Committee of the Whole on Tuesday, 13th July 2021. The leader will move for its consideration. Leader. Yeah. Okay, so I was going to move for suspension of the rules so that I can take the consideration. DS is not here, okay. But I think the option is to step it down.
All the items?
Yes.
I think the minority leader wants to go home. Huh?
prepare for 14-seater. But let me tell you the true situation I get. You know, the type of the aircraft, the kind of inbuilt we built, because anybody can Google and see the price internationally. So, and we will be indicted if we give something. That is exactly the problem.
But we can make some adjustments.
Yeah, we can make, but
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa Kirika Sama, Guri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I move that in the absence of the DS, who preside over the committee of the whole, items number 10 to 16 on the order paper be stepped down by the leave of the House and be shifted to next week. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Items 10 to 16 step down. We have a supplementary order paper. The one presentation of one bill. And I invite the clerk to read its short title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Federal University of Agriculture and Technology Abo Establishment Bill 2021, first reading.
And I invite the leader of the House to move for adjournment.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members, Ado Dogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent the good people of Dogwa, Chudungwada Federal Constituency. I am from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise.
I forgot this was here.
As directed, to move that this House do adjourn to Tuesday next week by 11 a.m. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I so move.
Minority Leader, please second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain honorable to the Godwin Elmelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shimilifera constituency. I'm from Delta State. I rise to second the motion moved by the House Leader that will do adjourn till Tuesday next week, 11 a.m. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Ayes have it. House adjourned till Tuesday, 11 a.m.
Mr. Speaker.
Great.